What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Replayer Podcast. There is an echo of Pagan in the background. I'm gonna have to fix that. Anyways,
so cut it and just reintroduce yourself.
That's fine. That'll work. So we'll try that again with me going, "What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Replayer Podcast." I'm your host this week, Dan Morris, and with me is my co-host, Pagan.
Hi.
Hi, Pagan. And joining us this week is the lovely Dean and Jonas. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Replayer Podcast. So happy.
Thanks for being
welcome.
here.
Welcome, guys.
Great to be here. I'm
Happy
excited.
to have you here.
Lovely. I'm glad to have you guys excited to be on the show. Love getting new replayers on. Love learning about everyone's replayer journey and everyone else that we see in the weekly live chats and episodes of the show. So let us move on and get started. We're going to have a great talk today. We're going to talk about retro replays uploads this week, and the best part of all is getting to meet our new wonderful replayer guest. So welcome again to the show, Dean and Jonas. I'm going to just start us off with, tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, whatever you're willing to share, and give us a little bit about how you came into Retro Replay, the show. Let's start with Jonas.
Yep. Hi, I'm Jonas. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Denmark. I have been following the
Hi, Jonas.
Hi, I'm an alcoholic.
Everybody collectively like, hi, Jonas.
Hi, Jonas.
I'm not an alcoholic.
That's good.
I have
Good to know. Good
been
start.
following the Retro Replay channel since almost the beginning, maybe until like third episode of season 1 of level 1. Sorry. Yeah, I just found them on YouTube on recommendation. I thought like, Nolan North and Troy Baker has a channel. I gotta see this. So, and just like January, I actually started to a subscription for them for the first time because I thought, nah, I can afford it. Yeah, been enjoying the ride so far, and the community's been nice, I guess.
That's
But
it? Only nice?
All right.
I think we have a pretty good
Nice.
community.
I haven't
On the
encountered
podcast,
any
and you say
bullying,
nice?
lucky enough. I haven't encountered any of stuff.
Good.
So that's fine. So yeah, that's me. That's
Cool. So you were a fan
Hi,
of Troy and
Jonas.
Nolan before that, right?
Yeah, I knew of them because I was
Thank you.
like always. There's like there are the two voices in gaming where like always like, yeah, that's Nolan North, and yeah, that's Troy Baker, and like so I knew of them. But first, when they started doing the YouTube channel, I really got started engaged in like voice acting, like Travis Willingham and stuff like that.
Nice.
Paid more attention to the voices of behind the famous characters.
Behind those
Cool.
digital faces.
Yeah. I think it's easy to do as well, especially if you start recognizing often,
Yeah.
and you're like, who the heck are these people? And then you start,
I did that the same thing with the Liam O'Brien, where like every time I hear his voice, it's like, who was that guy again? And I keep looking him. I was like, oh, that's Liam O'Brien. Gotta
Yeah.
remember that.
That reminds me that I learned about Troy Baker and Liam O'Brien both as voice actors from Final Fantasy 13. That's when those two names
Oh,
became
yeah.
a part of my brain at that point.
part of your brain.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dean, why don't you
Yeah,
introduce
part of
yourself
my
to the group?
Hi, group. I'm Dean.
Hi,
Hi, Dean.
I am 27 from the east of England and like literally as far east in the country as you can get. I'm right on the little bump. And I first got into Retro Replay about a year ago. I've been like huge fan of Nolan since Uncharted first came out. It was like one of the first PS3 games I played was Uncharted. And then I became a fan of Troy around about the time BioShock Infinite came out.
Sure.
Just like fell in love with Booker DeWitt. Like, wow.
Booker.
Booker catch!
Do it.
But I didn't hear of Retro Replay until it got recommended to me in like the sidebar on a YouTube video of Twisted Toon.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'd watched one that Troy and Nolan were in, and then it was like on the side, Retro Replay. I was like, what is this? And that's how I found it.
So
Wonderful.
cool.
Mhm.
How has your experience been with the community as well? I know Jonas had said positive and everything. So I just wanted to know
Yeah.
how you know.
I've been, I haven't noticed like any negativity. I think I've been quite lucky. But I went through a long time where I hadn't engaged with the live chats. It's only recently that I've started getting more into the community.
Okay.
But everyone is so overwhelmingly positive and so just there for each other, and it's awesome.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
I
here
think-
for.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
overwhelmingly positive is a good few adjectives to describe the replay community. I
Yeah.
think.
You get occasional trolls and whatnot here and there, but
In the live chats,
they
yeah.
get weeded
Yeah.
out pretty well for the
I
most
think
part.
as long as you don't pay attention to them, and I think there's a few replayers who struggle so bad because they're active.
Yeah.
During
And
during
the
the charity
show-
stream, that was horrible. During the
Oof.
charity stream, there were
Oh,
so
God.
many of them.
So many. But I mean, to be fair, it wasn't just a retro replay like stream. It was like fans of Spartacus, fans of
Yeah.
Overwatch, fans of like so they're all coming in from everywhere. Whereas I think like overwhelmingly positive is a good way to describe even the live chat on most of the
Yeah.
retro replay videos. But I do understand what you're saying. Like there's several trolls in like the Uncharted live streams or the Last of Us live streams. As long as there's like no attention paid to them and stuff like that, and no offense taken, unless they actually come for somebody, then they're gonna learn. But like
Yeah.
they just genuinely like throw out negative stuff, and we pass it off. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've said this on the podcast before. Whoever's listening, ignore the trolls. The best
Yeah,
thing you
just
can do
ignore
is
the
ignore
trolls.
them.
Yeah, it's like honestly, unless they come for you, like then we'll address it. But I feel like a lot of them are just saying random stuff like, "Oh, stop talking over the video. Oh, stop
Yeah.
talking over this," and
Yeah.
everyone else is replying, being like, "Go watch something else then." Like,
Mhm.
stop harping on whatever. And you're like, just leave them. They'll quickly realize, and they will leave the video. Like it's fine.
I think they don't realize that it's actually like pre-recorded videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I know they live stream it, but it's actually pre-recorded videos. Then
Right.
it's like
A lot of times
you
we
could
get new
give them-
people who
you could
don't
give them
realize
your
that.
feedback, but they're not gonna pay attention because they're
Yeah.
not actually there.
And you know
Right.
what? There's several people that are super like accepting as well. Like when they're like, "Hey Troy, like, can you tell us anything about Last of Us 2?" And then there's quite a few replayers who be like, "Hey guys, like, sorry to let you know that this is pre-recorded. They're not live. It's just the premiering the episode live." And they're super happy to be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Thank you so much for letting me know." Or "That's great,
Yeah.
thanks." Others not so great, but
I
You
usually
just have
stay
to
away from the
kill
live
them with
streams.
kindness.
just kill them with kindness. Is exactly.
Or you can do what I do to trolls, and I troll them back.
Troll 'em
I troll the trolls is what I do.
Do you tell them about your religion?
I've done that. I have done that. Especially like if I'm playing an online game. Like I've recently been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption online, and players on there can just start trying to kill you. And I find that the best thing you can do is just either ignore them or just get real stupid, and they'll just be like, "What the fuck is happening?" This last time I had a guy trying to kill me, and he was chasing me, and I just started running around in circles, going whoop 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 whoop, and he just kept chasing me and chasing me and chasing me. And I was like, I'm having fun. Fuck him.
Let's just get crazy on this.
Pretty much. Or it's like if I'm ever getting
When I
getting
play
tailgated by someone on the highway, I purposely will slow down as much as possible
Oh,
until
yeah.
they
Yeah.
try to pass
I
me,
actually did a-
and then I speed back up, and like,
I did
haha.
the worst thing. I had a guy who was trying to overtake me, and as he was overtaking me, I sped up.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
It's so
it's like-
dangerous, the game you're playing.
was so
Just so
dangerous.
that
It's
everybody
It's dangerous
knows,
for
disclaimer,
them.
The Replayer Podcast does not approve of tailgating or trying to troll somebody who's tailgating you for safety and health
The
purposes.
Replayer
okay? Just,
Podcast does not
drive
condone the
safely,
actions
people.
of.
Yeah.
Pagan, give us the.
Actions
All
and the
views
opinions
like
expressed
lettuce.
in this podcast
Yes,
do
that's
not
what I was
belong.
gonna say.
I don't know why, but people are always more ragey when they're behind the wheel. It's like
So bad.
littlest
Road
thing
rage.
is like, oh my god, you're so slow. Oh my god, fuck
So
off. It's like,
impatient, and you're like, just like, I just love that like campaign slogan: "Arrive alive." Just fucking arrive alive and breathing. Like it is fine. If you are late, that is your fucking fault. You didn't leave on time. That is
Yep.
your issue, not anybody else's. Cool. I remember being in the car once with somebody, and they were a batshit crazy driver.
Oh,
And I
no.
like at the end of the drive, I was like, I am not going to get in the car with you anymore. Like you are batshit crazy. And he was like,
Have you-
but I've never been in a car crash. And I was like, that doesn't say anything about you as a driver. That says a great amount about people who are driving next to you because you're so crazy. And I never got in a car with him again. I was like,
I
no.
literally watched a TikTok earlier of someone like, it was someone saying that they were in a BMW speeding to catch up with someone who was trying to overtake them. And it cut to like his girlfriend in the passenger seat. And she dubbed over, it was Ralph Wiggum going, I'm in danger!
Yeah.
It's
Literally,
exactly
that's
what
how
it
I
feels
felt.
like.
Swear to God. Also, I want to put this out there. If I'm following anybody on social media, right? Anybody, you decide to put up a Snapchat, a TikTok, an Instagram Live, a Facebook Live, whatever the fuck, while you are driving, I will unfollow you. And if I can report you to your local police station, I fucking will. Don't
You have been
do that
warned out
shit.
there.
You will,
You have been
you will
warned.
kill somebody and yourself. I don't care.
Pagan is
you want to go
coming
kill
for you.
yourself in your car, that is fine. That is your business. But don't kill other people. There are people, families on the road with young kids and everything. Stop using social media. Stop using your phone. Put the phone down. It will not kill you.
Here,
This is
See
why
it
I'm
back.
glad I don't drive.
There are
Yeah,
people out
just-
there on motorcycles too. Watch out for them.
Everything.
Very
Motorcycles.
important.
Well, I say that because I'm a
bicycles,
motorcyclist and
I've
I
seen-
know how freaking
Oh.
dangerous it is.
I've
It
seen
is
bicyclists
terrifying.
on their phone while they're cycling, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You think just because you're on a bicycle that you could be on a phone as well? Like you could kill somebody or cause an
crazy.
accident?
phone and no hands on the steering. It's like, ooh, I kind of always feel like honking the horn because my work involves me driving around. So whenever I see someone doing something recklessly, I always feel like I want to give them a scare just to be like, this could have
Yeah.
been way worse.
Yeah. Somebody was on their
Like
phone
if
and nearly walked out in front of my car.
if you can't go like more than half an hour without being on social media, there's something
Yeah.
wrong with you.
Just
You
put
need
it away.
to you need to get rid of your phone
I
because you
can
are
understand if-
too attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand if you're like, if you have a phone and you change music or whatever, and you're pulling or whatever, or if you have Siri to change music for you, no problem.
Yeah.
Like that's great. If you have some sort of hands free, that's amazing. Like
That's what these are
I know
really
that
great
you've got
for
AirPods
too.
on. I'm pretty sure AirPods are also connected with your
Yeah.
Siri and everything. You could change stuff.
You can
Cool.
literally just double tap it and it'll change the song.
Yeah, like fine. And
I
like
usually use it
preferably get something that's
Discord.
hands free, but like don't
Yeah.
text.
That's
fucking
very good
social
with
media
with new
posts.
cars where your phone is connected via Bluetooth. So if you have like
Yeah.
a screen on the car, you could just press a single button. Or
Yeah.
if you
Or
have, like, the
some
buttons on the
steering wheels
wheels.
even have buttons.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mine
my
has
steering
it
wheel has
built
it.
in.
Mine,
It's
I think
so
it's
great.
like I don't know. Like I think there's several people that I know that can't stop using the phone and everything, and they'll say. And occasionally I have been guilty of it, but I feel like there's been too many scares and there's a lot of campaigns out, and I feel like I'd rather just put my phone on the passenger seat, face down, and listen to whatever music. If I don't like the music, I could turn on the radio. Like that's just my options, and
Yeah.
that's it. But I feel like people who are posting Snapchat videos or TikTok or whatever
It's
while they're driving,
ridiculous.
I will just unfollow you. I don't care
It's
who you
like,
are.
who are you? What are you trying to prove that you can drive fast?
Yeah.
That you can film and drive? Like, what are you trying to prove that you're
Yeah,
high revs? Fuck off.
celebrities do it as well, and
So
celebrities
for
do
all
it
of
in,
you
like,
Tom
America.
Haverfords out there, if you get that reference, put the phone away.
I don't get that.
Hello,
I
and
get
welcome to
Oh,
the
thank
Drive
you.
Safely podcast.
Yeah, but I just feel anyway. That's a strong opinion.
Well, we're really
I get
getting
it.
to know our replayers this week, aren't we?
We really are.
Down to the nitty gritty. Anyways, let's move on to some questions to learn a little bit about you guys. Easy peasy. Are you a gamer? Let's do it with Dean
Yes.
to start.
I am a gamer. I have been a gamer since around about 1996.
Love that.
Yeah, like it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I used to. It's really bad. I really shouldn't have been doing it. But when I was a kid, during the summer holidays, my mum would let me stay up until like 2, 3 in the morning, and we would just play Spyro. And we would do this thing where if you died, you passed the controller off to the next person.
Yeah.
So there was just me, my mum, and my granddad doing this until like wee hours of the morning. Super bad for like a 6, 7-year-old. But it
No
was the
way,
summer
that's super
holidays, so who
cool.
cares? So it was like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and Abe's Odyssey.
Nice.
Those were
It's a
like
great
the
list.
three we always played. Yeah.
Great game.
It sounds like me when I was a kid playing Super Smash Brothers in the middle of the night with my brothers until my mom would come busting the door open like, go to bed!
You better not be on the PlayStation. Like,
It's
no!
like that.
We're playing
It's like that thing
Nintendo.
where you've got your DS, and like your mom comes in, and you flip the screen down and hide it
Like-
under your pillow until she's left, and then you just pull it back out again. And I used to do that all the time.
I had a Game Boy and I did that. I didn't have a DS. Wasn't that cool? Yeah. I had Sorry.
All right, Jonas, I know you already gave us a little yes, but do you want to go into more detail?
Hey, sure. I've always been a gamer since I was a kid. A very young kid. I was like the same pretty much as everyone. Like when you were a kid, where you were over at friends' houses, and every time you die, you turn over the control to anybody else. I was the kind of kid who was like, no, I'm just fine with watching. I'm just gonna be looking and give advice. And every time the controller always got handed over to me, I always turned out to be better than the original player. And he was like, no, keep playing. And I'm like, I don't want to play. Because yeah, I've always enjoyed it. And like everybody else, like I had a Game Boy, like the really old Game Boy, where there were like no light in the screen.
Oh, no
Couldn't see
backlight.
anything, no backlight.
I used to have my Game Boy on display. I have an original one that I would keep on my shelf behind me.
Nice.
But yeah, like always pretty much a supporter of everything. Like I was always the person in elementary school where I was always more interested in gaming and movies rather than football. And I always got kind of mocked about that because I could pretty much name every actor whenever we were watching a movie in class. And I was like, and now everybody like gaming has become a mainstream thing, and I'm like, to everyone, I'm like, fuck y'all. I'm a bit of a hipster when it comes to that. When things become popular, and I like that before they became popular, I'm like, fuck you. I'm the OG.
I did it before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
I did it
we
before
will-
it was cool. And that's the thing I have about The Witcher right now. It's like now it's become cool because of the Netflix show, and I'm like, read the books. This is not a part of the books. She's not supposed to look like that. And and he's like, no, he doesn't carry two swords behind his back. It's I'm kind of a hipster like that, where when things become popular, I'm like,
Oh.
Nope.
I'm like,
you
I'm
like
not
it
even.
until it's cool, and then it's like,
Yeah, I just see all the positive reviews, and I'm like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
So you're one of those internet haters.
Yeah, internet. No, it's positive reviews, and I'm like the really hipster. Like I hate people just because I feel entitled because I liked it before they did, and I'm like, it's a bad habit. Bad habit.
I've been there. Anyways, we'll bounce it right back at you. Do you have a preferred platform to play your video games on?
First.
Well, no, I was bouncing it back at you.
PlayStation.
I was gonna flip that up, but
Oh.
anyways, doesn't matter. Roll with it.
Go for
It's
it.
happened.
It's happened. I already said PlayStation. It's out
All
there.
right.
Ah, okay. Jonas, are you like a PlayStation?
I'm a
Xbox?
PlayStation guy. I've always been a PlayStation guy. I kind of wanted to get into PC, but I've never been able to. I played a little bit of Star Wars: The Old Republic on PC, but that kind of faded out. So
Ah.
I'm a heavily PlayStation supporter, but I will never be like superiority over another platform because
Yeah.
when I was younger, my friend
Sure.
who visited like every other weekend, he had an Xbox. So when I visited him, we would always play Xbox, and so I have fond memories of pretty much every platform.
Well, that's
Nice.
nice. That's nice
This
and
is-
neutral
that's-
of you.
Yeah.
It is good to hear, and this is the one thing I have to say to any specific console fanboy out there that always shits or hates on the other console. Competition is good. We want competition.
Right. Yeah.
The people who
Everyone
come into
improves.
an Xbox channel or a PlayStation channel and he goes, "Oh, Xbox sucks. It should go out of business," or "PlayStation sucks. They should stop making games." We don't want that. We don't
Yeah.
want that.
No.
They lose their competitors, so
Yes,
they're gonna stop.
they
improving
try
and
less.
Better.
Yeah.
Anyways, I might not support PlayStation as much as Xbox, but I still appreciate them and want them to be a part of the market.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the market keeps slingshotting. That it
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
has done
I mean, you
over
can't-
the generations.
Yeah, you can't forget the fact that like Xbox has had some incredible games, like Halo.
yeah.
Damn, that's like one of the best franchises out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like each console has got exclusives. Fable, yeah, for
Fable's
sure.
so good.
So each console's got exclusives that have just blow everything else out of the water.
Yeah.
And they just help each other to improve.
Mm-hmm. And there's been a springboard, is what I was kind of commenting on, where the PlayStation 2 was easily the best console like of its time, and it's still a great console. And then when we got to the 360 PS3 generation, the Xbox 360 killed it. It was an amazing console. It did all new things. It had a great lineup of games. The PlayStation 3 kind of struggled, especially early on. They flubbed the pricing. They made the PlayStation way too expensive, and nobody wanted to buy it. There was the whole backwards compatibility. They were back and forth on that.
Yeah.
The exclusives weren't great. There wasn't a lot of great exclusives on PS3 in the beginning. So PS3 kind of failed against the Xbox 360. And then we had the opposite. The PS4 came out the gates real strong. Xbox kind of flubbed when they came out with the one. And Xbox has slowly been trying to chase back behind PlayStation. And I feel like Xbox is primed to shoot ahead for the next generation again.
Yeah, like the executive president of Microsoft actually said he doesn't consider PlayStation to be Xbox's main competitor for the next gen. It's actually supposed to be Amazon and Google Stadia, which actually kind of surprised me, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the fall of this year. I might not be able to buy the newest console because I'm probably going to be living alone for that point of view, which is horrible, but it's still going to be.
Sure.
All right, so let's go on to, do you have a favorite game, if you can say so? And this time we'll just throw it right to Dean. I know you already listed some great ones, so...
Right on the spot. Right on the spot.
So...
I said if you can. If you have to name a few, that's fine.
I can name a few. I can't say, like, one definitive game.
I know, it's tough.
Fair enough.
Uncharted 4 is high. It is high up there. Spyro 2, typically.
Rip
if
Those
only
Rage?
Because Rip Those Rage. It was the one I played the most.
I probably have that on the shelf right behind me.
Nice. we had the benefit of having a chipped console. Don't tell anyone. So I never had a copy of Spyro 1. We went straight on to Spyro 2, so that was like the first Spyro game I ever got my same, oddly enough, with Crash Bandicoot 2 as well.
Nice.
Same situation. So that's on there as well. BioShock Infinite is on there. I got quite into Detroit Become Human. It's quite low down on the list.
Interesting.
But
I wouldn't have put it that high myself, but that's an interesting.
If only because of the performances. I tend to go for a game that's got great story and has a performance that will engage you, which is why Uncharted 4 is top my sort of Uncharted games. I think if the actors can make you feel something, that's what it's all about for me.
I think if you had, because you had mentioned earlier in pre-show chat that you had never played The Last of Us, and I think if you had played The Last of Us, I feel like that might be your top game.
Absolutely, I think.
And performance driven.
Yeah, for sure. If I'd have played it before like watching the cutscenes, that would have been on my list.
Yeah.
But because I didn't like engage with it myself.
Play it yourself.
Yeah.
Would you go back and play that now though? Like if you could get a remastered edition, go back and play it?
Maybe. I think I would want to play it before The Last of Us 2 comes out.
Oh, you should have been there for a couple of months ago on PlayStation. It was free for PlayStation Plus subscribers.
Oh,
I have my gripes with this. I tweeted about this earlier, so
I responded to the tweet.
You did. Yeah, so I bought the Uncharted collection. The next month, it was free on PlayStation Plus. I bought the BioShock collection, and now this month it is free on PlayStation Plus. And I don't know why PlayStation hates me, but yeah.
I think you're just really good at predicting them. That's what
If it makes you feel any better, I have similar issues with Game Pass to the point where I'm really hesitant to buy new games on Xbox because it's like, it might come to Game Pass. I shouldn't buy it yet.
Okay, but in the same vein, right? It doesn't always stay. Obviously, PS Plus offers are only per month. So
Mhm.
even if you had bought it like this time and you'd perhaps missed it, at least you have it now. The same with Game Pass, right? The Game Pass games do not stay there forever. They're
True.
rotated in and out. Is that right?
And on that note, even like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, they're all contractual that you keep your membership.
Hmm?
You can't
Yeah,
play
you
them
can't
if
play
you
them if you
Right,
lose your
yeah.
membership.
right.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
I think
even-
like
you
maybe
can't do that
if
with
you
the PlayStation
prefer,
Plus either.
yeah, I think
Right,
that like if you really like the game, like the Uncharted series, like the Bioshock series,
Mhm.
maybe it is always better to just purchase it. So
Right.
Yeah.
no loss there, Dean. No
loss.
Yeah.
no loss.
So I've been there
At
too.
least
I've
you
gone
had
through
some.
that.
I think everyone has had that problem where they bought a game and then it came out free. And
Yeah, or
I
had that the
discounted,
same, like,
or
yeah,
on
We
offer.
exactly.
always
Like,
discounted.
I've done
had
it
that
where
problem
I
with-
bought a game on the Xbox store, and then 2 days later it went on sale for like half
That
off.
happens.
And I
Oh.
called
all the time.
Xbox and I said, I just bought this. Can I get that deal? And they were like, sure. I was like, yes.
Nice.
it's all about taking that initiative to actually
Yeah.
contact.
if you
the
ask-
yeah, most people be like, oh well.
No.
See, I'm the most people. I just wouldn't bother.
Me too. I'd be like, dang it, I've missed out on that offer.
I did get
Yeah, right?
I got a refund on a digital game that I bought too. That I tried my damnedest to give it a good run, and the game was super glitchy and really hard to play, and I didn't enjoy it. And I was like, all right, I can't warrant having this game anymore. So I called them, I think 2 days after I bought it, and they gave me a refund.
What game was it?
Well,
Agony.
Ooh. Okay.
So if you
never
know the
justified.
game, it was very much my ballpark. If you know like a game that I kind of enjoy, like a survival horror kind of thing, and it was set in hell, kind of like Dante's Inferno, and I love Dante's Inferno,
yes,
but it
loved
was massively glitchy. The gameplay wasn't bad. I was enjoying it until I got to a point in the story where it becomes Outlast, where you're just kind of hiding
Oh.
from monsters, and you can't hide. There's nowhere to go. They just catch you constantly because it's glitchy and the AI doesn't work right. There's supposed to be this mechanic where you jump from body to body, like you can move your soul from one body to another, and it didn't work. So
Oh,
it became
dear.
very unplayable.
Not great.
So I was like, all right, I'm
Crap.
not playing this anymore. So, anywho, let's see what Jonas's favorite game was, if he has one.
I don't have a current favorite one because like Dean, I of course if we go off purely by nostalgia, it's gonna be like mostly nope. I've never played Resident Evil.
I've never
Oh,
played
yo,
Resident
I
Evil
played-
either.
played-
Side note, I have a side note. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Go for
Resident
it.
Evil 2 is also on my list. It was the first survival
It better
horror
be.
game I
Another
played.
side note. One, I've
Yeah.
never played Resident Evil 2, but two, it was recently Dan's birthday, and that artwork is by Wil Shrike, and I got it for him. There you
Give
go.
a little
Nice.
plug.
Matching set.
Plug.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not plug it? You plugged it yourself. It also,
Name
Wil
drop.
Shrike's work is like this.
Yeah, so we might have to
Uncharted,
drop
and
a
then the
link
last
to that guy in the show. Like, this is by, who was the artist?
Wil Shrike.
Yes.
He's
Go check
he's
him
an
out.
English artist, and he's
sounds like a
often at
Batman
cons.
villain.
Wil Shrike.
His stuff
I
is
think
really
there's a
amazing.
Batman villain.
Wil Shrike.
But yeah, I can pop it in. No problem. Jonas, what
But-
did you say? Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, if we go purely off by nostalgia, it's maybe Sly Cooper games like Sly 2 and Sly 3. I
Oh.
always played that with my back then best friend, and was always great. I always enjoyed Lego games, and like if we go by the PlayStation 3 era, I always loved GTA 4. It had a great story, and Red Dead Redemption 1 had an amazing story and an amazing multiplayer. But current gen, it's really hard. I've always really loved the Dragon Age series
Oh, yes.
and The Witcher 3, of course, and Persona 5, and there's just so many games.
It's
hard
just
to say
endless.
because
Just goes
There's
on.
just
and
too
on.
many. All of the PS4.
It's
everything.
hard because there are also so many different genres. It's like saying
Yeah.
what's your favorite song, and it's like, okay, what are we talking about? Are we talking about rock, pop, classic? It's like
Mhm.
when it comes to games, it's like, okay, what do
Yeah.
you mean? Adventure, action, RPG,
Yeah.
first-person
Yeah.
shooter?
Okay.
Because
Well,
you
It all
you
depends
can't-
on you as a gamer too, because like you could be the
True,
type of gamer who only
absolutely.
plays one game and
I-
nothing else.
In my opinion, you can't compare Resident Evil, for example, to I don't know Call of Duty because
Of
they're
course
in
not.
two entirely different
Yeah, absolutely.
ballparks. it's just gonna be like, yeah, like someone, Leon is a police guy and you're a military guy. That's it. But there's no
Sure.
comparison.
Okay, well, in that vein, then I will go ahead and ask you a more specific question. Which is the game that has most impacted you, or which is the game that you have played the most? If you have played multiple rounds of whatever game,
I think
you have one.
Game I've played the most might have been The Witcher 3. I had like over 200 hours of play time on that.
Okay.
Or maybe Persona, but affected me. It's kind of hard to say because when I was a kid, I played GTA 4 a lot. So I played it so much.
You were too young to play that game. What are you doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like,
I can't say that because I totally did the same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like when I was 10 years old, I played San Andreas, but I had played GTA 4 so much that for the first time in a long time, when I actually got into a car, I actually wanted to press the skip drive button for when you go into a taxi and GTA 4, and I was like, what am I doing? I can't skip a real life drive just because whatever. And I also ended up dreaming about your cousin Roman who wants to go out bowling and shit. And on my first playthrough of GTA 4, Roman actually died on my first playthrough, and I was so horrified by that. I can't. That affected me a lot, but me. Most of the games who are now considered classics, for example, The Last of Us, the first time I played them, I was maybe too young to understand the deeper meanings and the deeper metaphors.
I get that.
For example, The Last of Us, like for example, when Joel's daughter dies, I can't remember.
Sarah.
Sarah. I was like, when I was like 14 years old, I was just like, meh. But then when I played it for the second time here at the age of 21, I actually dropped a tear because even though I'm not a dad, I was still affected.
A tier.
But I
just the
single man tear.
Just the one, and he never cried again.
Don't worry, you will be dead inside like me, and nothing will affect you.
Yeah.
Unless you play Ori and the Blind Forest.
I think I always get affected by RPG games where your companions, what do you say? How they feel about you? What do you say?
Like in Dragon Age.
Like in Dragon Age, where everything is affected by how much they like you. Now I'm at the age where it's like I haven't completed Persona 5 because I was afraid I couldn't get all the friendship points up until the end, and I was kind of like, it's gonna affect my ending, so I just never played it again. In that way, it has affected me because I get to people liking me. I cannot, for example, the Infamous game, I cannot go bad side because I don't have it in my heart.
You don't want anyone to not like you.
I can never
it's like, I don't want this fake NPC guy to not like me.
Yeah, like like you said, Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people who've obviously played it the first time, and then they play it again, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do a dark playthrough, and they basically choose all the points where like everything will go wrong or people will die. I can't do that.
I was just going to say, you wouldn't like watching me play Detroit because I like to do the bad choices on purpose.
No, I can't do it. It affects me. I don't have it in my heart to kill people. Like
every time I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be bad this time, and I keep ending up being good because I'm like,
yeah. You get affected.
I have this thing where when I play like Dragon Age, I always say, right, this time I'm gonna romance a different character. I always romance the same character every time.
So much.
Yes,
I just love you, Dorian. Your mustache is so great.
I might not have gone for Dorian because I love Dorian, but when it comes to like Dragon Age game, it's always been Liliana, Isabella, Cassandra. Like nothing's gonna like.
Just for reference as well, I have no idea what.
I don't know either
because I've never played Dragon Age.
It's a really, really good RPG if you want to give an RPG a go.
Okay.
The lore is so great.
Massive.
A friend of mine actually recommended it to me today. While we were talking. So.
What is going on with this serendipity today?
I need to try Mass Effect all the way through.
Serendipity! I just bought a DVD today.
Serendipity.
Shut up! I swear to God, 2 DVDs. 2 movies on the one DVD, Doom and Serendipity. What is happening?
This is
Why would
too
Doom and
much.
Serendipity be on the same DVD?
That's
They're
a
on the
very
same DVD. Well,
Okay,
they're like a
Dan,
collection.
Dan, you
Sorry.
mentioned Mass Effect. I've never actually played the original trilogy, but I played the
Creepy.
newest one, which everybody hates on. But maybe because it's my first Mass Effect or something like that, I fucking loved it because it was great and I romanced Cora and it's all perfect.
Yeah,
But
that'll
like
do it.
I always like when it came to the Dragon Age game, I actually played the whole game, and it's also like 100-hour playthrough. I
yeah.
played the whole game over again just because the wrong person became divine. I was like,
Oh
fuck
no.
that. So when I played the Trespasser DLC, I was
Yeah.
like, And I played the whole game over again just because Liliana killed somebody she shouldn't, and Cassandra became divine, and I went like, I don't want that. I don't like that.
No, no.
I also do not allow it. Again.
So I was like, a
Alright.
year after I played it for the first time, I was like, I'm gonna play it through again, and everything has to be perfect. So I made a save every time I did a step
Mhm.
because I didn't
Wow.
want to do the wrong choice.
Well, based on that, Jonas, I would say don't play the new Fire Emblem game because it's all about relationships with people, and that'll probably drive you insane.
I really wanted to play it, but it's only Switch, so
Yeah.
it's Switch exclusive. And I was like, damn it, because it looked
Mhm.
really good.
I've heard it's one of the most amazing games of 2019, and I'm hoping that eventually I might get around to playing it, but it sounds like quite the task to get through. Anyways, next question would be, what game are you looking forward to this year of 2020, excluding The Last of Us 2? I like to throw that in there because it drives people
Everyone seems to
crazy.
be looking forward to that. So
Of
it's a
course,
game.
we're looking to that. So
I think Dean should start with.
I've got one. I know this. It's Animal Crossing on Switch.
nice.
Who
That's
else said
I'm
that recently?
Last
Someone
week,
else
I
said
think it
Animal
was
Crossing.
Ian. Was it Ian?
Ian? Oh, God,
Well,
maybe.
Ian's brought up Animal Crossing, and you asked him what it
Ian
was.
and Dean.
Oh yeah, probably actually.
Mhm.
That's right. Yes, Ian.
Nice.
Very excited.
Good one.
I've never played Animal Crossing, and it seems
You'll
to be
lose
this big
so
thing.
many hours.
Like,
I played
Oh my
one. I
God.
played, I think, the DS Animal Crossing. I don't remember which one it was.
New Leaf or something like that.
It might have been New Leaf. I don't
New
remember.
Leaf. Yeah,
I didn't play it
that's
that much.
I think that's the newest one. There's like City Folk, New.
is
and then,
this
like,
somebody?
Animal Crossing.
Or sorry, Ian described it as like The Sims, but with animals.
Yes.
Kind of. So essentially, what it is, in New Leaf, for example, you turn up in this town. They're like, "You're the mayor now," and you're like, "Okay." And then you have to. There's this guy, Tom Nook, raccoon. He gives you a house, and he's like, "All you have to do is just pay me back for this house." And you make money. The money's called bells, but you can fish, you can collect, you can pick flowers, and you sell them all back to Tom Nook, and that's how you make money. You can buy furniture, decorate. Just one of those games. The closest thing I can relate it to is like Stardew Valley, if you've ever played that, or
Haven't
Harvest
played it.
Moon.
Oh,
Mhm.
Stardew
It's like-
Valley, yeah, farming.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's just like a chill
Right.
simulation game.
You have to
remember
give back to
playing, like-
society.
Yeah.
Was there
It's like
one-
one of those games aimed for children, but everybody of like 20 plus
Yeah.
ends up playing it because they have nostalgia related stuff to it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it seems like that. Like anytime I see advertised or anything like that poster of Animal Crossing, I automatically prefer the kids game. But
Mhm.
so many adults I know have spoken about Animal Crossing and their excitement for the new one, and I was like, really? Like
Yeah.
this seriously? So I gotta get it.
It's one of
really.
it's one of those games that you can just pick up and lose a good few hours if you need, just to like de-stress.
Okay,
Right.
I
It's so
probably
good.
It's very chill.
Yeah.
get
All right, I'm gonna go
really
pick some
into it, I'm
flowers.
sure.
Yeah. That's literally it.
Did you have an
I might
answer,
have to do
Jonas?
this.
Get it. Do it. Do it. Do it, Pagan. Get it.
Do it.
What?
Do it. Get it. Get it. Do it.
I'll get
Animal
it.
Crossing.
Oh, I'm gonna lose so many
Are we-
hours.
did
I've
we-
already started with Critical Role. I don't know how many hours of my life
Oh boy.
I have.
You start watching Critical Role.
Yeah.
Did we
Uh,
stall
that's-
long
that's
enough
the
for
same
you
thing
there,
if you want to-
Jonas?
But yeah, I actually have a couple of games I'm excited for.
Okay.
Go for it.
Definitely Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks good.
It looks amazing. So I was kind of sad when I heard it was delayed, but I'm like, they want to polish it. That's fair.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
and we are excluding The Last of Us Part 2, so I'm also really looking forward to the Avengers PlayStation 4 game because
Yeah,
Nice.
this is what really
Which
surprises
also got
me.
delayed.
Yeah, which also got delayed. Troy Baker is voicing Bruce Banner, which is really interesting because in the Avengers television show, he's Hawkeye. So when I hear Troy Baker on the game, I'm gonna be like, that's not
Hawkeye.
right.
Doesn't
That's
work.
Hawkeye. And that's the same thing about like Nolan North. He voices Iron Man and Tony Stark. But for me, if we are excluding my Danish
Deadpool.
childhood dub, it's like also that, but it's like there are other people who are.
He was also Rocket Raccoon.
He
He was.
Mhm.
was. And also, I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so I'm also kind of excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake.
It looks good.
Nice.
It looks really great because I played Final Fantasy 15 as my own Final Fantasy, and I really enjoyed that. So also looking forward to that. Other than that, I'm just sitting patiently. Don't know what to play right now, other than Dragon Age Origins for the third time. Just trying to kill time, waiting for stuff to come out because everything has been delayed. There was a spring release, so it's like fall because closer to the next gen. And
Speaking of Final Fantasy, you're gonna lose me for a while because all the Final Fantasy games are coming to Xbox Game Pass soon. I'll be gone.
No. R.I.P. Dan.
Yeah, we'll be texting Dan. You'll like reply 4 days later.
Just be
like, what?
like I'm like skinny and rotting.
Yeah.
Like,
Your hands are stuck in this position.
Yeah.
Like,
It's been 83 years.
you're gonna be like Cartman on like the this Warcraft episode, like, Mom,
yes.
yes.
Last week as well.
We made that reference last week or the week
We
before.
sure did. Yeah, we did read that
Wow.
reference last week on World of Warcraft. Just don't leave your table.
Anyways, let's move on to the last and I think probably the funnest question. What would you like to see the guys play next? There's got to be something you've been thinking about.
I know they're gonna play it because, of course, they're gonna play it. But it is actually Uncharted 3 because it's actually my favorite Uncharted.
Hold on now. I'm talking about retro replay, not definitive playthroughs.
I wasn't alive for most of the retro
Doesn't
games,
matter.
so doesn't
No,
matter. Okay.
well, like what was retro for you, Jonas? Like PlayStation 1 was
exactly.
retro for me.
Then I think I really want to actually see Nolan.
Jeff Goldblum's here?
Good one. That's for reference.
I really want to see Nolan play GTA San Andreas because I just want to see the chaos that they're.
There you go. That's perfect. Good answer.
That is perfect.
And I'm gonna be like, Troy's gonna be like, oh, I totally played this game, and you're gonna play it this way, and it just fucks up again.
And Nolan's gonna play it completely differently because he always does.
Yeah. He's gonna think logically. Like, I would really like them to see that, but like the it's all about the hang.
Yes,
All about the
all
game,
about the
all
hang.
about the hang.
But yeah, I'm just gonna say GTA San Andreas, and
I'll take it. It works for me.
That's perfect.
Because it's what's retro to you, and it's what you think would be enjoyable to watch the guys play. That's what it's all about. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a retro game per se. If you think it would be fun for the guys to watch play,
it's actually true because they did play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which, in my point of view, is like it came out in 2007, which.
That's a long time ago at this point, though.
Yeah,
That's
right
13,
now.
13 years ago?
Yeah.
Still 30 years ago, but still, it was part of my
Jesus.
childhood. It's like,
But that's
I was
also
like, why are they?
that's more than half as old as you are.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
True that. True.
That is true, but it's just I was really surprised. I was like, because we've gotten used to all the other games we play, like Altered Beast and Come Jump with Me, Brother, and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
when
Bounce with me, brother.
Bounce with Me, Brother. So when they were going to play like time when Nolan said, "Let's have a knife fight," I had fucking little chills because that's just what you did when you were young
It
and
is
played Call of
definitely what
Duty.
you did.
It's just gonna
Yeah.
be like, fuck guns, we're gonna knife each other. And Troy was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we're gonna knife each other, and Nolan just absolutely destroyed Troy, and it was so like satisfying.
It's a good answer.
Good.
Dean, follow up.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a lot to follow up. Either something like Croc or Gex,
Ooh.
just because they were
Ooh.
like not known games.
Yeah, I
for
was
the
gonna say those are
PS1.
some of the like off the mainstream like
Yeah.
classic platformer action games on the PS1,
Absolutely.
which I've played both of them.
That-
I definitely have more
Oh,
fond
so
memories
good.
of Gex than Croc. I don't really remember
Gex
Croc.
3D was so good. Yeah, or something like Glover, which is
Glover.
like one of those really, really kind of glitchy games. Which I think would be fun to play because it would just stress them out.
I think I played Glover on Nintendo 64 back then. And
Yeah,
the 3D
there you
was a little
go.
better on it, so I was like, oh, this looks better on Nintendo, which no one ever said again after that.
Also, if they do virtual replay again, I really, really, really want to see them do LA Noire VA case files.
That would be cool.
Because LA Noire is a game I should have added to my favorite games list. It's like one of the only games I've completely
So I'm just
platinum.
picturing Dean now with like a giant scroll that she unfurls and it like goes on infinity. Like, here's my list of favorite games.
I got so many.
Like,
understandably, there are a lot out
Beat
there that
Saber.
are just.
They should totally do Beat Saber.
They should do.
I
the
want to see
power
them
of
do
Saber.
I would love to see them do some beats.
Indeed.
That'd be very entertaining. And then I don't know, maybe they could get around to Rush of Blood. I don't know, Drew. Just saying. Until
Keep
dawn, Rush
asking.
of Blood.
That's all you gotta
Please,
do.
please. It's just brilliant. And
I
just
don't think
make
they're
them
gonna do
think
it.
we're here.
They did say in
There's
the
too many-
recent
too
members
many
live chat,
clowns.
they're like, Nolan's like, I don't want to do a scary game, especially not in VR.
Yeah.
True. And I think like he doesn't want to do anything that will cause motion sickness either. And I think Rush of Blood can if you're that way inclined.
I have a personal story with this. A cousin of mine brought his VR over. And we played Rush of Blood. We were not aware that you're supposed to sit down to play this game.
No,
my mum played it. And it gets to the like in the first level where you go up, and then you go down. And as the coaster went down, my mum went backwards and literally went straight into my granddad's lap.
No.
So
surprise lap dance.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So it was, she was like, she just fell straight on her ass. I was like, oh no. It was hilarious.
Yeah, no, you have to sit for that game.
Those are the best VR stories.
Yeah. We got VR and I think like the first Christmas we had VR, got all of my fiance's family to sit down and be like, you have to try this, and we did the demo of the kitchen.
Oh no.
Resident 7. Some classic responses. Also like into the deep ocean dive.
On PlayStation Worlds.
Yes, so great. Like because people are just not expecting the shark, and it's just such perfect content. We filmed it. We love it. We still watch it. It's great.
We did that to my dad this Christmas.
Oh,
it was so funny.
Priceless.
My sisters gave me a tryout some public place, and I played. I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, hot. What? Super hot. That was
super hot.
Super hot.
Was
so
good. It's like it doesn't matter. The guys played it. It doesn't matter how shitty you are, but when you actually kill some of those diamond crystal people, you feel like an absolute beast.
So satisfying.
So good.
Okay, I don't have any more bullets in my gun, so I'm just gonna use my gun to
throw
deflect the bullets, or not throw it, but deflect the bullets of the enemy until it gets close enough to punch him. It feels so satisfying. And then we had to do that walk the plank kind of thing where you go up on an elevator and then have to walk the plank. Like I was kind of prepared, and they actually put down a literal plank for you to walk on. So they were, and I wasn't phased at all. I just went down and popped out outside because I knew the ending was supposed to be to jump from the plank. I wasn't phased at all because I was prepared because my sister had told me about it. But
it is very interesting. Like we recently did a replayer meetup in Ireland where we went to our house workshop thing where we did like a 30-minute VR game. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was really cool. It was set in space and stuff, and I think like we had all had VR experience, so we all kind of knew how to align yourself, I guess, when you're playing VR. Because even the chaperone or whatever was just like, you could kind of tell that you have VR experience because there's a moment where you're going down in the spaceship, like on a slope, and then you're coming up on a slope, but it's all level ground in real life. So people like lose their minds and start going like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But all of us were like not at all phased. We were just like, "It's cool," unless there was like stuff that was high, and then I think one or two of us, because again, there's this walk the plank bit in it, while you're being shot at and stuff. There's people like that did have a bit of it, like, oh god, because it does look so real. But those are the best VR experience, and it really does get you. And like, oh,
when you forget for just for a minute, you're like, whoa.
Yes, yeah.
Whoa. I have yet to try VR, and I will soon, hopefully.
Yes.
I can only recommend it.
Yes.
But you have to go in there with like a you have to be prepared that you might think you're cool, but for the people who are watching you with,
I've seen people playing VR on the outside. I went to a convention recently where people were playing VR and seeing like people like just like their heads just all over the place and it looked goofy as hell.
The first game I played VR was actually Beat Saber, and I actually stopped playing it because I got too conscious of how I'm being like outside because I was
outside in the real world.
Yeah, because I was. I'm not afraid, but I was like, my sister came up to me and just like tapped me on the shoulder because she was taking a picture of me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop playing this now.
You're looking real ridiculous. You need to chill.
Yeah, like you should go kill yourself.
Like, oh no, it's terrible.
You almost punched Nan in the face.
we were at Comic-Con. I think it was Dublin last year. They had a VR setup place, and Adam was like, he wanted to have a look at it because I don't think it wasn't PlayStation VR. I think it was the 5.
Oculus?
I'm not sure. I think so. But I'm not sure. So he was like, I want to see what that feels like and what that looks like compared to what I have at home. I was like, yeah, sure. And they were playing Beat Saber. So anyway, there's like 2 people, it's like 15 people in front of him, and like they do a level each or whatever, or 2 levels each or something. And it was just great because these level of people were all just there to experience VR. Was like, little did they know Adam had been doing Beat Saber for a while. And was just knocking shit out of the park. Literally 3 of the coordinators that were running it, they got together and they were just like watching him be like,
that's pretty
like,
decent.
is he just really good? And I was like, he's clearly done this before. Because his points just kept going up and up and up. Like 20 times more than anybody's points were going.
He got the high score.
Oh yeah, he got the high score. Like it was very funny to watch because they're just all about like, how is he? What the fuck? Whoa! What the fuck? Where'd you come from? Sat there like waiting.
Is this
patiently.
man?
Yeah, because all of them are like kids, some adults, whatever, because they're just interested to see what it looks like. Adam's there, fucking knocking shit out of the park.
Like, let me show how it's done, kids.
Yeah, basically, step aside.
Sit down for a second.
Yeah, sit down, bitches. Show you what's worth.
All right, what do you guys say we move on to this week's episode of The Last of Us playthrough?
Which you haven't fully watched.
Oi, how dare you call me out, sir?
How dare you?
Ooh, what a call.
I'm kind of the same way because I watched the Last of Us videos in segments because I'm the kind of guy who could get a bit like, oh my god, they played through this time 20 times. Get on with it. It's not so hard. Stop dying. so I end up always like taking the video in bits of pieces. So when it comes out on Tuesday, I end up finishing it on Thursday for the retro replay.
Oh,
it was good. It was great that Ashley finally joined.
Yes, I was going to say to
play as well.
Finally, just to kind of introduce as far as the episode, it did have Ashley Johnson on there, who of course played Ellie, as we all know here. If there's anyone listening who isn't a huge Last of Us retro replay fan, it's just like, what the heck is this replayer podcast nonsense? Ashley Johnson is an actress who played Ellie in The Last of Us. Go check it out. Anyways, she did get to finally come on the show. We've all been asking and waiting for it forever. And she did get to play, which was probably one of the better parts of the episode, I would say. Yes, I didn't see all of it, but I'm getting there.
She plays inverted.
She plays
that's really annoying.
In some kind of way, it broke my heart.
So that means she has no soul.
It was great.
I don't
It was
think
great
so.
Troy got the controller back, and he was like, "Oh God!"
I've done that before with friends who play
I've done
inverted.
that
Like,
too,
oh dear
yeah.
God.
Nolan commented on.
Yeah.
Even Nolan was like, "Oh, I can't."
I think though, like I could understand where she's coming from. Like all the games that she used to play just automatically had inverted controls, so she just got used to it, and that's how she plays now. Because I think like I remember inverted controls being with Harry Potter games on PlayStation 1.
Oh
Yeah, but
my
if it's a
God.
third-person camera behind the person, but you don't shoot in Harry Potter either, though. You're not using guns
No,
to
but like
shoot
you're
at people.
no, but
You have
like
to,
there's
like,
directional buttons, like,
control
especially
spell.
in
I'm
Yeah,
only into
you
like
control
inverted
spells,
if
you
you're
control-
actually flying. If you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
GTA
that-
when you're flying a plane,
any
that's like when you're pulling the
flying
stick
is
back.
supposed to
Yeah.
be inverted, though. That's how you fly.
Yeah. But when it
Yeah.
comes to like controlling the camera, it has to be normal.
normal, not inverted. I don't
What's
know.
your
I think,
definition of
look,
normal?
Being
each
a
to their
lefty.
own. People like playing inverted. That's great.
I
I
have to
actually
say
think it's
something real
much
quick.
more difficult. So
Say something real quick.
I'm really glad that we do a video version of the podcast now because people can understand what's happening when Pagan does her pauses. Because she used to do those pauses in the original episodes of just the audio, and it was always like, Pagan, are you there? And she was like, and then she would come right back with whatever she was saying, and we were like, oh, okay, you're still talking.
that's
Anyway.
so true. I used to do that all the time in the beginning episodes because I think while I speak, my mouth's a bit too quick for my fucking brain sometimes. So I'll be like, blah, blah, and then I forget what I was gonna say, so I pause mid sentence. So yeah, thank God there's the video
You should
version of
really
this now.
try to be bilingual when you have to actually think about the grammatical way that you're saying things.
I had to try. I did French 6 years,
It's so hard when you're like
7.5 years
when you're
actually,
speaking
and I
like 700 words a minute, and there's
it's
like
so
shit
hard
interests instead of
trying to form it. Do you know why though? It's because like if you want to be really fluent, a friend of mine told me, it was like if you really want to be fluent and if you really want to be better at your language, is like trying to think in the language is better for you. So when
Yeah, I
you're
did that.
going to do something, like think about it first in French and then go do it. Because then as soon as you start to learn how to think in French, and you can speak French better. So I tried that for like my French oral exam, and it did very well. There's
It's
a lot
really
of
great
pausing.
when you're daydreaming and dreaming, try to dream in your other language, because I
Oof.
did that really much. I dreamt English, I thought English, every conversation I had in my brain and I thought stuff, it was in English, and it pretty much
It has
fluent.
paid off. Your English is exquisite. So-
Well, gee, I ain't even speak English good, so
I gotta know use words.
what's it? I ain't speaking grammar.
From London or something, you know what I mean? You know what I mean,
You
bruv?
sound like you're from London.
Yeah, from London blood.
Innit?
In it, bruv.
For those that don't know, I recently moved to Texas, and I've had people call me out for trying to like make fun of Texans when I'm just doing my own New York rural accent.
Oh
Like
no.
I'm not doing Texas. I'm just doing a New York redneck and rural.
Can I say though, right on this topic that has been brought up several times before, probably on the podcast, but in my life every single day.
Oh yeah.
This might happen to you a lot though, Dan, because you might be picking up inflections of Texan accent.
probably am.
You might
Mhm.
you might not know that you're doing it, and people perceive that as you're mocking their accent, when really you're subconsciously trying
simulating.
to. Yeah, you're just trying to emulate what they're doing so that you can reach them on another level. I do this all
I do
the
that
time.
all the time.
Somebody has a thick
I've-
accent and they're talking to me. I
Yep.
swear to God, I will start talking in their inflection and starting in
Same.
their, like,
Well, I've done it
language.
if I watch a lot of British television, like if I get on like a Doctor Who streak or something and watch a lot of
Sure.
British television, or we know a lot of replayers who live in the UK, i.e., most of you guys.
Ew.
Or
I get chatty with a lot of the UK replayers, and before I know it, I'm like saying like the soliloquies and like the different phrasing that the British
yeah, the colloquialism.
UK.
Try
Well,
Colloquialism.
that's the word I wanted. Thank you.
I know.
Soliloquy. That's a
Switch
whole
between
other
both
thing.
of them.
My brain
Try to
went,
switch-
duh, I should have paused like Pagan.
Try to switch between both of them, because the first 3 years of my elementary school, I learned American English, and then first 6 years I learned American English, and then my last
Not Royal
3
English.
years of elementary school I learned British
Not the
English.
Queen's English.
The Queen's
And then
English
because
class.
I spoke American English to my British friends, they started correcting me, and I'm like, dude, I've been taught American English, and now I'm like switching between them, saying bins sometimes and trash cans other times, and like
This is the
bonnet
thing though,
and
like
boat.
I think people
petrol.
underestimate how influential culture is on an accent. Like the American culture. Like I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. All the actors that I saw on TV, America, and they were American movies, and they were American stars and American Oscars. Mom, and thank God, thank you, Dad, like all this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, clearly, if I want to be an actor, I must be like them.
That all sounds
must
normal. What are you
emulate the
talking
accent.
about? I'm confused.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
It's
This
always
has come up so many
interesting.
times. Dan's like, well, I wrote this.
Well,
I like
well,
imagine
well.
George Lazenby. He was like an Australian, and he had to play James Bond. He actually had to teach himself British accent, so he actually had a wood inside his mouth to start to sound British.
Stop.
Mhm.
And
But
he,
It's always
Like, whatever you-
interesting to me how English people can do really good American accents, but the same is not true. American people can't do good English
Suffer
accents.
So
Like
bad.
I
it's
know.
harder. Like it's Dick Van Dyke syndrome.
I
Like,
actually feel
oh,
it's like
Mary Poppy, hello.
It's- every
Yeah.
British people I know, they all, or every American I know, I always hear them speak really, really good, especially voiceovers or voice actors, because it's obvious they can make like
Yes.
Troy and Nolan, they can make really good British accents
They're
from my
alright.
ear. Who's not? Yeah,
Yeah,
alright.
they're
I'm not
okay.
native. I'm not
Yeah.
native, so I can't really tell. But
No, they're good.
I think there seem kind of Americanized British accents.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah.
See,
it's like-
I would find it like super easy to switch into an American accent, but I don't know how easy it would be for Dan to come and do an English accent now. So if we like switched
Go for it.
accents,
Yeah.
I'm sure mine would be the very Americanized British. And the funny thing is, if I try to think about it and do British accent, it sounds terrible. I'm assuming it's probably offensive and would,
but
hurt
do it.
feelings.
I want to hear
But
it. I need to
If
hear
I'm
this now.
goofing around, like I do it once in a while, like if I'm playing a video game and I'm just getting goofy, like that's where like I get kind of, I don't know, probably just as offensive if nothing else. And I couldn't even tell you, like there's no mindset to it. I couldn't be like, I don't really know how to say all the things in a British accent.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say
I think, like, I mean,
all the
I think I agree with
inflections.
you because I think it's because
My go-to is
This is
oi.
vocal
Oi!
coaches
Oi.
and everything will start coming
oh,
out.
you
in
little geezer.
But I think it's because British accents have a very soft palate in terms of like their
Yeah.
your nouns and everything. Your vowels and stuff are well shaped and they're quite soft in the mouth. Whereas I think American quite hard and flat and A's and R's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever, like, you know what
There's
I
a
mean? So instead of
really,
ahs and
really-
ahs and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I think that's where a difficulty would come from
Absolutely.
in transitioning of accents. But there are people who just do it mighty fine. Mighty
There's a really good vocal coach. His name is Eric Singer. If you've ever, you should look him up on YouTube because he talks at length about accents. I'm hooked on this guy. He's so good, and he can just do every accent off the bat, and it's
Yeah.
impeccable.
I actually will also shout out. There's a girl on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure she's on Twitter as well. Her name is Holly Renault, and she and I work
Kylie
together.
Minogue.
Renault, Reneao. I can link her down as well. She's amazing. She's a dialect coach. Can also just do any accent off the back.
Yeah.
She's a freelance dialect coach. So if anybody is struggling for it or they want advice, I can pop her down as well.
That'd be good to know.
Incredible.
Because I definitely
Yeah.
want to try to like develop my own ability at the same time. This
Yeah.
has been a great talk about The Last of Us. So,
We're doing really good.
anyways,
Done
let's
so
move on to
well.
retro replay. I mean,
Anyway, what is going to happen, you guys?
welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
I was
Nothing
gonna
but
say,
tangents.
here, go talk about the episode of The Last of Us that I missed some of, and then we talked about nothing else.
Mostly
accents.
We
Drive-
tangented our balls.
accent.
We literally
safety and
tangented our
accents.
balls off.
I like my balls.
I don't have any left, so I definitely tangented them all off.
Any left?
No, yeah,
I'm
they're
still waiting
gone.
to grow mine, so
It's from those. They're just from the tangents. Like if you
You've
tangent too
taken
much,
your-
it's not gonna happen. Those balls are just gonna.
I'm just gonna have to stop tangenting.
Yeah, it's just. I guess it's just the point now. Right. Okay. Retro replay. Great
What
show.
does that
Good-
mean,
good show.
tangent your
SX, thank
balls?
you.
So we're
Um,
just done with The Last of Us, huh? We're gonna move on.
I don't know.
Sounds
if you
great.
guys are with Last of Us, I think like it's important to say yes. We were waiting for Ashley Johnson forever. He
Yeah.
was really good sometimes, and then also really not good. And then Troy had to take over again. That's fine. And
Was
the
not
whole
also that
section
good.
was extremely frustrating, especially the bit where they got to David bit, and like I
Yeah.
think everybody was screaming at Troy. Be like, don't walk over the plates. Stop
Stop
making so much noise.
sprinting.
Stop sprinting. Like,
Stop
fucking
trying to
sit
melee
down.
him.
Yes. Sit down and listen for
It's
David. Like,
triangle,
there
not
are. This
square.
is a mechanism, and you have to do it right to get it, and you have to do it 3 times.
I was gonna say, if we
That's
do talk about The
frustrating.
Last of Us, that's really all you're gonna get from me is me bitching about Troy and how he plays. Like, I gotta
We
stop
give
shitting
Troy
on
so
Troy.
much shit on this show. We need to
The-
stop. Like, they
the
are
problem
good
isn't-
people.
The
We
problem
love you,
isn't that
Troy,
he gives
but
advice.
yeah,
We love
good.
it. He gives advice, but it's like he gives the wrong advice with confidence. It's like, press square.
That-
It's square.
Oh my
triangle. And it's like,
goodness.
no, it
Oh,
isn't. It isn't.
Listen, in his heart, he right. So
Yeah.
justify
I know. I
himself.
know he was Joel, but he
He's
can't.
trying.
It drives me
Trying.
crazy when Nolan will ask him how to shoot, and he goes, "Oh, press left, right, or L2, R2." Like,
Yeah, it's like
that's not context enough. L2, R2 doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything.
Hold.
you use
Hold
L2
L2 to aim and R2 to shoot.
Yeah.
Like, just saying L2,
And
R2
then
means
if
nothing.
you want to reload, then stop holding
Mm.
L2 and then press R2.
Yeah.
It's like, especially, I think everyone can relate when you're playing a game, especially with guns. Like every time you've shot a shot, you need to reload immediately.
Yep.
When
Instant
when-
habit.
Yeah.
Immediately
when Nolan
reload.
played, immediately reload. When Nolan played Uncharted for the first time, I was like, why doesn't he reload? I can't take it. He has 5 bullets left in his back. Reload,
You know-
goddammit! You're not gonna be prepared for the next battle. You're gonna fucking die. Reload. I was like, and then he started playing the Uncharted 2, and he's like, oh, so this is how you reload, and he just stopped doing it. He stopped reloading. He's like, oh, I need to reload. Like, oh my god, reload.
The thing
Uh,
about Troy like saying things with confidence reminds me there was a bit in Uncharted where he kept telling Nolan to pick up the foul. Nolan picked it up, immediately switched it for the AK-47, and as soon as he switched it for the AK-47, Troy went, "Oh yeah, you got to get that foul, bro. That's gonna get you." And I'm like, "You just saw him pick up the AK-47. He dropped the foul. You're not paying attention, dude."
That's
I
the thing.
think,
Like Nolan presses triangle too much, so when he's picking up weapons
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
ammo,
I
he's like,
think he struggles though. I think he just like, yeah, he struggles doing it. However, I will say, I thought it was extremely funny in this episode, and he's done it a little bit before, where Troy gets annoyed at backseat gaming, where Nolan is giving
It's
advice, and Nolan is giving
Incredibly ironic.
solid advice actually.
Yeah,
And
Nolan's
Troy
really
gets
good
like,
at like
"Mm,
pointing things
listen,
out.
I have the controller. I'm gonna like You're like, he's trying to help you, and he's giving you sound advice.
really
Don't step on the
disappointed
fucking
that
plates.
David, I had hoped like
Maybe he will.
See, now I would have assumed that
Hey.
Nolan would have played that part.
No,
Fuck off. You
Troy.
could have
Troy
watched-
was
Or at
running
least
around.
Heavy
Ashley. I
spoilers,
figured
my dude.
Ashley would have.
Yeah, but I thought like, okay, if not, since Ashley took the joystick back to Troy, I was like, I had the hope that Troy would be like, hey, do you want to kill yourself? Like, do you want to kill David? And he's like, heck yeah. I'm like, but it
But-
didn't happen.
But they have cut it. They stopped the episode right as
Yeah.
the cutscene was triggered. So it could, like, I mean, you don't really technically have the handle on it when that happens. So I feel like, yeah,
The
it
next
doesn't
part of
really
the game
matter
is
who
gonna
was
be-
playing that section. You know what I mean?
The next part of the game is going to be Joel trying to sneak through the town to get to Ellie.
Which is
So,
fantastic. Great,
I
great.
hate it.
Oh,
I
this
hate
whole-
it. I hate it.
I love the whole winter thing. The
I was
winter
so
section of
sneaky.
this game
so
was just
good.
so good. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this. It came with so many surprises. To be handed
Shat
over
myself.
to Ellie, like as a character, and like shoot a rabbit and go through this whole. It's just
Rabbit.
incredible, and I
It kind
love
of reminds
like,
me of that streamer who was like seeing the rabbit walk up, like, oh, that's so cute. Ah, like,
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah,
That was me,
probably.
and that was me when Callus died as
Everybody.
well.
Also,
I was
Nolan,
like,
he-
"No!"
We are here to talk
No,
about the
it was also-
definitive playthrough, not the game itself, because we've done that enough.
well, I just
I
think,
can't even
like,
count how many times we sat here and be like, "Oh, The Last of Us is so brilliant." We're talking about the
To
playthrough.
my credit, it did
Yeah.
happen in the episode.
It did happen in the episode.
That's why I
I-
brought it up.
I
think, though, like,
know, but we like it always
No, it actually
devolves
happened
into
in the
like
last episode.
The Last of Us did that so well, and it's so great. Like, we're here to talk about the guys playing The Last of Us, not the game itself.
I do think though, like I think the Ashley entrance and being handed the controller as well, I was not expecting. I thought this like when they teased that. in
Was she the
trailer, I
first
was
guest
like,
to play?
Oh my god! Yes, she was.
Yes,
Yes, she was, and rightly so. Rightly
absolutely.
Good to see
Yeah.
that.
Because if anything,
I
that's the
think
point
it-
of these definitive playthroughs. It's the person who played the character playing the game. It's
Playing the
Nolan playing Nathan.
Absolutely.
It's Troy playing Joel. Brain
Joel.
fart. Or no, it's a pagan dynamic pause. Joel, and now we get Ashley to play Ellie.
Yeah, I think that was
Nolan
really
playing
entertaining
Drake.
to see, and there was quite a lot of people in the chat. We had 5,000 viewers on the live chat,
Yeah.
which is amazing because they haven't done that since the first episode of the Retro Replay Last of Us Definitive Playthrough. I didn't see numbers like 5,000 people watching since then. So I'm sure there was a lot of critters in the like Critical Role fans in the chat, which was so nice to see them. Chat was hopping. Chat was like really alive.
It
when
was
stuff
on
happening.
fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's where I
Do you
turn it
think
off
that-
because it goes too
Do you
fast for
think
my
they're
old
gonna
man
play
eyes.
Left Behind?
I don't think they will, Jonas. If I'm
Don't-
honest,
don't-
I don't
don't
think they
you-
will.
I think
I agree.
I hope so because it's like, or at least if they bring Ashley back, it's gonna be like this is a great development for Ellie because she's alone in this part and she's gonna be when we see the part where it actually turns out that she's actually turns out to be a gay icon because she kisses her. I can't remember the name of her friend.
Spoiler for anybody who hasn't played. Who hasn't played Left Behind. Sorry.
If they've seen the trailer for The
actually-
Last of Us 2, they should get
Yeah,
that though.
They
if
should get
they-
that, yeah.
Also that, but it's not really a spoiler because they talk about it in the original game.
That's
Or
true.
they talk about her being her friend, like for example Bill, and it's just but I just think like for character development, it would be to see them play through that. Like the same thing with when they get to Uncharted 4, I want to see them play the Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lost
Well,
Well,
Legacy
that's
would
like
be
a
great.
full standalone game on its
Yeah,
own.
Yeah.
however,
It actually is. It is actually a standalone game. Massive.
I think The Last of Us Left Behind and Uncharted Lost Legacy are incredible games. Incredible games. I just don't think it would make all that much sense for them to go back, especially to play like
Yeah.
Last of Us Left Behind, because I
Right.
think the idea is that obviously Troy is playing Joel, and he's gonna play
You
as
said troll.
Joel. He's a troll.
It
Um,
fits.
Yeah, trolling. Yeah,
Trolling.
so I feel like it would jar slightly if they were going to play that. If Ashley Johnson wants to at all ever play a stream and she wants to play The Last of Us Left Behind, everybody would tune into that. But I feel like
Mhm.
it could
Claudia
just
Black.
jar a little bit. And Claudia Black and Laura Bailey to
Absolutely.
play The Lost Legacy would be amazing. I know that I won't actually say much about that because there's like spoilers and stuff for that. But I just think like it would seem off base for them. I hadn't played it. Would be great
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah,
but I just don't.
It
It
does
wouldn't
make
make
but I'm
sense
just
for
hoping-
them to play like a full standalone Ellie DLC when
Mm.
neither of them are in it, really.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It just wouldn't make sense. It would be cool to see, but at this,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just hopes
I'd say
and
they'll
wishes.
just complete it. Then I don't know. Like for Tuesday content, I don't know what they have.
Well,
Obviously,
maybe we'll have
a lot of the
Uncharted 3 by then. So there'll be that hiatus.
Fingers
and then-
crossed.
I would imagine they could play. There's a number of Troy games that they could move into.
They could do Bioshock Infinite, actually.
Exactly.
Well,
I actually don't think they're gonna get to a first-person shooter because, in my experience, which I've noticed very much, Nolan is not very good at multitasking the walk and look.
Well,
It's like
Troy
every
would be
time he
playing
walks, it's like, I
Bioshock.
can't see-
Yeah,
was
I would
only
imagine
in
Troy
music.
would play it.
That should be
Yeah,
Troy
so-
playing.
Yeah, of course, but yeah. Still, it would be interesting, but
I think the prediction. I think they will like finish Last of Us or whatever, and then they'll start Uncharted 3. But if they are going to drop content on a Tuesday, as if like if they're still going to continue to make content for Tuesdays, I don't think they're going to play a game again. I think they will start incorporating the stuff they've added on Twitter. So
Mhm.
Nolan's advice,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Nolan's advice
absolutely.
for his story,
Gotcha.
start incorporating the
To
oh
see
Twitter
the
yeah,
shout.
I have forgotten about the story times. I'm actually
which I
looking
think
forward to that.
is a really great move on Retro Replay's part. I think it's a really great move to connect wider with
It's
indie.
about the hang.
It's about the hang, and also like there's so like the live chats, if the membership live chats, they go so fast, and it's so incredibly
Mhm.
hard to get a question across without spamming the chat. So I think this is a great way. Like if someone really wants to know how did you find out that you
Which
got cast as Booker
I got
DeWitt?
a
How did
question
you-
answered by doing that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
This is the
Like,
first
Same.
time I got them to answer a question because I spammed the chat for the first time ever. I
Yeah.
felt bad, but it
Listen,
got my question
but
answered.
that's the only way you can though. Whereas this
Mhm.
now is going to be so much better because they can listen to the questions, structure them in a way that they can answer them for the chat. Obviously, I think Uncle Noli's will be tongue-in-cheek, as
sure.
usual. But to be fair, I don't know. I don't think it'll all be like that because I think, Uncle Nolan's very fatherly. I think
Yeah,
it's very
he
nice
came
to
in with
get
some solid
advice.
advice in like the first third of level 3, like out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
It might be a mixed bag, I think. A little bit of a joke, a little bit of seriousness, a little bit of joke.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda
the
back
kind of thing.
and forth.
Like Nolan, he tried to like show himself off this stupid like one like, oh, I get lost in a supermarket. Like, oh,
Sure.
North, come get your husband. Like, but he's also like is experienced in life, both good and bad, so he can
They're
actually give it off.
both intelligent,
And so
talented
so
people,
so
I
when they
think.
actually go for storytelling, it's gonna be great because they, of course, since they're voice actors, they have the voices to do it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you think on like Christmas 2018, where they did a Christmas story in Christopher Walken and Jeff Goldblum's voice, I've
Great.
I've listened to that so many times because
So
they
good.
might be doing it for the laughs, but it's you actually get entrenched in that story. And I was kind of disappointed that they didn't do another Christmas story in like Walken and Goldblum style this or last year. So it'd be kind of funny to make them like new stories in like their respective voices, like boom, zoom, bang.
What I think is great about the channel, though, is I think if there's enough recommendations for it, if people liked it enough and asked for it or requested for it, I do think that that they would do it again.
Yeah, they take a lot of
So-
like user input on board.
They really do,
Mhm.
and that's like the nicest thing that they could do for the community.
Yeah.
So,
But like you guys, I haven't really done it before. I just like, do you, if you get requests, do you like send an email or Twitter or YouTube? Like, what's your go-to when you want to connect to the actual developers? To
Twitter seems to be the biggest place
Yeah.
that they react to,
Yeah.
and tagging Troy and Drew. You can obviously tag Nolan and PJ as well, obviously, or just to like email it in or pop it on the YouTube comments because
Yeah.
they read and like every
Yeah,
single
they
YouTube
actually
comment. So
acknowledge
just
it.
pop it down, and that they definitely take.
they
Count.
pretty much
might not-
acknowledge every my YouTube comment.
Yeah, they
Seriously.
might not reply, but you know that it's acknowledged and that they read it. So I think
Mhm.
I think that is a good way. I think you comment, Twitter. If you want to email Drew, you can. Again, you're not always guaranteed to reply. Like there's such busy people anyway, and it's the same with Twitter. But I likely do see it. So I think YouTube comment is probably my first bet, then Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, we should be moving on because we are starting to run a little long.
Let's
So-
move on.
All the tangents are wonderful. That's what we're here for. We love the
We-
tangents,
Tangent your balls.
but
Yep.
also trying to
What does
like
that mean?
keep our episodes a little bit tighter. So let's
No,
move
it's
on.
no problem. Move on.
We did not get
Always keep it tight.
Cyanide and Happiness short this week. On that note,
No,
We did not.
I think they said they were doing only 4.
Yeah.
But
They
they've
did.
only done
We
3,
got-
haven't they?
No. I'm pretty sure we have 4.
I think we have 4.
Spider-Man, a new country guys, and
And Phil Kensington.
And Phil
Okay.
Kensington.
I thought
okay, so I wasn't aware that they were only going to do 4, and then I'm assuming it's gonna be a little bit of a
Yeah.
break before we get some more of
It was
them.
in like the it was in the description. It said 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
I really wanted Sal and Vin to be a anime.
I thought there would be one. Maybe they're holding on
absolutely
to it for a little while to pace it out a
They-
little bit.
They have some live action stuff for that.
Yes.
I've seen the live action
Really?
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they showed that at MCM.
I think
Mhm.
that's maybe that's what they can do because they are incorporating those live action clips into their shows. So perhaps
Yeah.
they wouldn't release it in an animation version for Cyanide and Happiness because they could use it as
All right, so let's move right on to Retro Replay 2. Again, to hurry things on a little bit, just because we're
Go
getting
for it.
very long here. The guys played the PS2 classic SSX, and I gotta say that was the
Tricky.
first PS2 game I ever played and owned because I got it with my PlayStation 2.
Wow.
Ah,
That was a
nice.
fun episode for me, and I also want to start
Very
off this
nostalgic.
conversation by saying Nolan killed it on that episode.
No,
I
it did
loved
so
He did so
good.
He killed it in the
Agreed.
game and in the jokes and the humor. Like, oh man, it was just like perfect.
Nolan was on
Nolan.
point this episode.
It was like
Nolan was
bam,
being the
bam,
best
bam.
Noli he can be.
Mhm.
He was living his best life.
He really was,
that
and he was
episode.
killing it in the game. And like, I don't care if Troy's button was stuck and he kept falling because of it.
Listen, he had a handicap the whole game. The button was stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He get a fair run at
You
it.
always have handicap.
But Nolan was playing very efficiently. He was just like barreling down the
He
mountain.
was very good at it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Except for when he
SSX
came
is
off
a snowboarding video game. The first of the series. It was developed by EA Canada and published by EA Sports Big for the PS2. If you don't know what I meant by that reference, you got to go play old PlayStation 2 games. The game came out in 2000. The year 2000.
Wow.
20 years
My
ago.
God.
It was the first
Wow.
title released under the EA Sports Big publisher label, and it is specialized in extreme sports with an arcade feel, Troy. Not an arcade game, arcade feel.
It was an arcade feel, yes.
Yes, which, go ahead.
I've never, well, I did play this game. I played it multiple times. However, I had a love for Cool Borders. So I preferred Cool Borders over SS3. So there you go.
Tricky.
That's my run of it.
SSX Tricky is a different game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know. But I just think like I didn't enjoy it as much as like other games. So I did play it.
Mhm.
I didn't own this game. This is another fun fact. I didn't own this game. We would play it every Christmas, pretty much, or around Christmas time at a friend's house. My mom had a family friend or whatever, and we would go to the house, and we were in school with the kids. We would play this game at their house because they had I think they had a PS. Maybe not. Maybe we were playing something else at their house, because now I'm thinking like, if this came out 20 years ago, I've only been here 17 years, so maybe actually I am lying.
Misremembered.
The truth all comes out now.
I
I'm
am
lying.
full of
So,
lies.
No, sorry, that must have been a different game. Well, we must have played it at that game anyway. We must have played something there. But we preferred Cool Borders. We had a Cool Borders game.
I never played any of them, so it was quite nice to watch this one because it was
Same.
something that I like hadn't experienced. So it was nice to
Oh, nice.
get to experience it
Yeah.
for the first time with them
So
playing
you've
it.
actually experienced a lot of the games that they've actually played.
Mhm.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Just because I grew up with gamers, like a lot of my family were gamers, so we had a lot of consoles growing up. So I
Sure.
played a lot of the games that they played. So it was quite nice to have a game that I had no experience whatsoever. Like I rarely even played like a snowboarding game. The closest I got was like Nagano Winter Olympics,
Oof.
like for the PS1. Yeah.
Wow.
The closest I got to playing like a snowboarding game. So it was quite a cool one to experience, if you'll pardon the
Oh,
I like that it's kind of the
I will
opposite
not.
of my
I enjoy the pun.
experience.
Ha!
I like that you had the
I've never
opposite with
played
that,
them
though. Like,
Ever.
it's a full new experience for you, new experience for
Yeah.
Jonas as well there. But like I said,
Actually, most
this
of
was-
the games they played, they have never tried because I'm too young.
could
no,
be.
I'm the same. The majority of games that they have played, I'd be like, never seen this
But
before.
you're
This
also-
is fun.
You're a relatively new gamer, too, so it's kind of your gamer age as opposed to your physical age.
Yeah.
Where I
been-
was a
I've been
gamer
playing
at the time, I got my PS2, I got SSX with it, and it was the first PS2 game I ever played, and it was like, wow, games can't get prettier than this. Then.
My
Oh,
first,
I
I had
remember
a
those
PS2 as
feelings.
well. I've been playing since I was 4 or 5 or something. My first game was some kind of racing game. I really can't remember the name of. So don't offend my gaming experience.
No, I think like in terms of like B player, he was talking to me. Like
Yeah,
he was
and I've-
definitely talking to me, not to you.
and like
Damn.
nothing in no slight
I
way.
think-
I can tell you right now, even Pagan, when we first started doing this podcast, she had doubts about her ability to speak on the show because she's not as experienced. And I said that does
No.
not matter. It doesn't matter.
Like I
But
have
she is the
played
beast of a
games, I just
streamer.
have never like I never really got into it.
Do you hear the
until
shout out he
recently.
just gave you, Pagan?
What did he say?
I told you were a beast of a streamer who just completed Hellblade.
Hell
Oh,
yeah!
Sick
Did-
plug.
I almost rage quit twice, but look, let's
Did you actually
that,
finish
okay.
it?
fucking did.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Nice.
Fantastic.
struggled
3
for
years
30
late,
minutes
bro.
to get there, and, like I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just and then
Die.
like one of the guys was like, yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I was like, oh, well, what did 30 minutes for? Jeez. And then so I just didn't want to spoil it for anybody who's gonna play it. I don't know. But yeah, like, so it was a good game, but I definitely did almost rage quit twice.
We're proud that you didn't.
Thank you.
Good job.
Nolan Spider-Man moment where I was like, I'm gonna kill this game. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now. I did. Thank you very much, Jonas, for the shout out. But yeah, I haven't really gotten in games until I got a PlayStation. PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
PlayStation 1, I played like Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider or whatever, but I didn't get into it. I wouldn't have considered myself a gamer until recently.
I can age myself even more by saying that when SSX came out, my previous favorite snowboarding game was 1080 on the Nintendo 64, which I believe that was probably one of the best snowboarding games ever made.
Is that when dinosaurs were still around?
Yep. There was dinosaurs on Turok. You went around and you shot dinosaurs. That was a Nintendo 64 game as
Turok.
well.
When it came to PlayStation 2, it was Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was the bomb of a game when you were playing with a friend on co-op. Nothing can beat Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Did you play SSX Tricky when it was on PlayStation?
I didn't. I have not played any board games, not Tony
Oh,
Hawk, not
okay,
snowboarding,
sorry.
not
You're like,
anything.
that for me.
I was more into other stuff like Lego games and stuff like that. But I
Proof
actually
that dinosaurs once walked the earth.
But I comment on the newest episode of Retro Re- I actually noticed that episode actually the game actually became more than the hang because they enjoyed the game so much that
Yeah.
they played more than they talked. But
Those are my favorite kind of episodes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't like a bad kind of feel to it. It kind of like the game became the hang.
No, exactly. That's the hang.
so-
It's them playing the
Yeah.
game, having fun. It becomes a little competitive, even though they weren't really
Mhm.
competing. And
Yeah.
that to me is my favorite kind of retro replay episode. I was very happy with how that played out, and I was even happier when they were like, "Want to go again?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what I want." I like when they play co-op games. I like when they play with each other, and I feel we get the best content then. A lot
Yeah,
of
but
people
I-
prefer the chats. I like the game hangs like that. For me, that's what's most entertaining, and I feel like we get the best Nolan because then Nolan gets silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
but
that
just-
struggle, Nolan. If Nolan ever sees or hears this, I know that struggle. That fucking glass.
When it comes to the game, I just keep thinking back to the Modern Warfare episode where it was like, "Are we okay?" And I was like, "Holy shit, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Because-
Yeah.
The
I-
Modern Warfare episode was a one-off, though, in that situation.
Yeah,
it was.
most of it happened behind the scenes, but also they've been together. They at that point had been like together for the last 48 hours or something. Like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
understand the conversation and like it became really dramatic, and the way that Nolan kept asking, "Are we okay?" Like, had they had a fight or whatever? It just so every now I'm always like attentive when it becomes more of the game than the talk and stuff like that. But it's really cool that they, for example, for SXX, that you enjoyed it, that mix it up.
Yeah, interesting angle. I think like their dynamic is so close and well knit. You're obviously gonna have where you just can't
Yeah.
be in custody with somebody for that length of time.
I
And I
really
think you're right. I
can't.
think they had done traveling and they were probably jet lagged and like stuff. I don't think they had any previous falling out. I think it was the frustration. I've said this frustration of not being able to handle a game that you've never played before with somebody who has played it.
Mhm.
Someone is beating your ass
Mhm.
better than you. Now you're gonna go head to head. Like, what the fuck is the point going head to head with me
But-
when you're gonna kill me every time? I've had that frustration. Man.
Oh
It,
yeah.
When
it was actually they were fighting the bots.
Yeah, when they were doing the like fighting against the AI as a team, that worked really well. And then they started like, okay, let's fight each other, and then like that was when they were starting to do like the knife fights and stuff like that. That really resonated with me because I felt Nolan's frustration. I have been there where someone is trying to teach me a game or trying to play with me, and they've played this game so many times, but I haven't never played it. I don't know the mechanics. I'm not used to how it works, and I die every time. And it's just, what enjoyment do I get if you?
I just would like to
So,
point out that Nolan's frustration happened mostly when he was playing the story mode, not when they were actually playing together.
oh really? It seemed
Yeah,
like that
Nolan
it-
got super into it when they were like knife fighting.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
having
oh,
fun
really?
then.
When he started
It
enjoying
became
himself
fun when it
again.
was knife
Yeah.
fight, but
It was when he was
I
playing
mean-
the campaign and he kept dying and he didn't
Mhm.
know what was happening.
campaign and bots.
It's the same thing then, though, because I think like Troy's trying to show him a game that Troy has loved, whereas Nolan is struggling because mechanics are hard to handle. And like I have also been there. They're like, "Oh my god, you should play this," and they hand me the controller, and I'm like, "This fucking game, I just keep dying. Like, what is the point? This game sucks."
Hmm.
I get the frustration, so I don't think like it's interesting that you have joined those two episodes that you like called back to Modern Warfare where they were playing multiplayer, and then now as SS Tricky, so fucking hard to say, why did you come up with that stupid title, game developers?
Hold on. The first game is called SSX.
SSX is still hard to say.
SSX. There is a
so
separate game. There's a separate game called SSX Tricky. Just say Essex.
Is this not?
Essex.
Is this
Essex.
Just say Essex.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've linked those two episodes though, because of their multiplayer. And now that you're super aware that they could have falling out, you're like,
SSX.
I could tangent on that, but go ahead, Dan.
Right, I know. I want us to move on because we gotta wrap things up. We've gone very long. So as much as we can tangent all day, we'll just have to have part 2 with these two wonderful guests on the show because holy heck,
I can really
tangent.
talk all day.
You really can. So this is we're gonna just wrap things up here. This is your chance to give us a little shout out to whatever you want to share. If either of you have anything you want the other replayers to check out, plug your YouTube if you have something. Yeah, promote yourself, share yourself, put yourself out there. What do you got?
All right. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Dean JK Smith for both of those. I've also got a cosplay Instagram where I've been actually putting more stuff on recently. I took a bit of a dip, but now I'm back, which is DJKS Cosplay. Nice and easy to remember.
Nice.
Want to follow my YouTube? I'm Dean J Smith. You can find me there. I've got some cosplay shenanigans on there too. That's all I've got.
Cool.
Hey.
Awesome. We'll have to check those out, and we'll put those.
Sorry, Dean's shit is unreal. Like I must say, the Instagram, your Twitter. By the way, I've only just started because you told me I'm not following you, so I followed you, and then I was actually scrolling through. I got you. But your Instagram, I haven't checked your cosplay one, but your Instagram is lit. Such good content.
I appreciate it.
Lit. All right, Jonas, what do you got for us?
Not much. I just wanted to say that we are a couple of guys from the Facebook Discord Retro Replay that kind of thought it would be fun to get together and try and play some Dungeons and Dragons. So
Nice.
we have a Discord group chat for that. We are looking for to do that. Everyone is welcome. Veteran D&D players or like me have never played. Right. So I've dropped the link in the Facebook group. And nothing else. So
That's fine.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. And Pagan, send us home.
Do they need to know?
No, we can move on.
no.
So, anyways, I'm.
At Pagan on Twitter. I'm just Pagan Plays. Forgetting. And
You're
then
not
You
Pagan
are
Plays.
Apple Eyes
You're
too.
Apple Eyes.
I'm at Apple Eyes too, but it's spelt wrong. Like the E and the L are reversed. So
I just
feel
type APP and it fills in the rest for me, so I move on.
Apple.
Well, you know what? This is the easiest way. Find Dan on Twitter.
Find me.
See what you can. So then you can follow me from there. That's probably the easiest way. And I'm on Twitch and I'm streaming currently every Tuesday and Thursdays at Pagan_.
Awesome. Which you can also follow me on Twitter at StarkyVash. That is STIRKYVASH. But otherwise, I'm Stark Evil Vash on just about every other platform, whether it's Twitch, YouTube. What was the other ones? I forget. Anyways,
Twitch,
Instagram.
all those things. Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Discord, Facebook.
Pretty much. I literally use the same name on everything to try and keep it all
Tinder.
nice and simple. Yes, we've mentioned that one.
Bumper.
I'm gonna be streaming every Wednesday, hopefully, with my boo. She'll probably hate that I said that. With my boo
Don't
Brandy.
Say boo.
Nice.
Boo
Don't
Brandy.
say boo.
With my bae.
Don't say
We've been
that.
streaming
Ivana.
God of War,
Nice.
the original God of War, with Brandy and all of her struggles. We're teaching her how to play old video games. And then we're trying to start streaming more often if we can. But you might be able to catch me also streaming elsewhere. Anyways, let's wrap things up officially. Thank you, Drew, Nolan, Troy, and PJ for everything you guys do over at Retro Replay and making this podcast
And all the
possible.
other interns.
All of those guys.
And
We will
everybody at
add
Retro
them
Replay,
to the
thank you
list.
so much.
Love you guys.
You can leave us, the Replayer Podcast, a voice message that we would like to play on the show. We're going to keep plugging that until somebody does it, because it's not happening yet. Except for Greg.
Leave
Greg's the
us
only
a
one.
voicemail, like fucking unpopular opinion. Say hello, cheapers.
Listen, introverts, get out of your shell and leave us a message. Even if it's to yell at me, you can yell at me. I don't care. Or you can give us the Jade giggles. I'm still waiting on that giggle, Jade.
Yes, Jade,
Holding you
please.
to it. You can also write us a message at thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, rate, review, do anything and everything on either YouTube or your preferred podcast service. You can also check us out on our Facebook page and follow us on there. And if you're interested on being on the show, you can pop us a message and say, hey guys, what's up? I want to be on the show.
It is literally that easy.
Yeah, it is.
That easy.
So,
Get on the
thank
list.
you.
Probably shouldn't be, but it is.
It really is.
But it is.
The only
It is,
requirement
thank
is
you,
that
guys.
you're a replayer. Not even.
Yes.
You don't even have to be a replayer for all I care.
So sick.
We'll take anyone.
Honestly.
You only
Come
have
talk
fill a
to us
contract
about
for
things.
like everything that happens, like not our responsibility, not their responsibility.
Yeah, true.
Again, so thank you, Dean. Thank you, Jonas, for being on the show with
Thank
us.
you.
No worries.
Thank me. Thank Pagan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
With that-
and Pagan for having us.
It's game over, folks. And
Game over.
outro music that we can't hear.
It all comes back around.